Happy holidays, romance readers. I am Liz Donatelli. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance Channel's Reader Seeks Romance, the #1 romance novel talk show on YouTube. In celebration of the season, I am chatting with a festive group of authors about their 2024 holiday romance books. Ashley Herring Blake is the author of Make the Season Bright, pub date October 1st. Noelle Douglas is the author of The Christmas Crush, pub date October 8th. Jack Strange is the author of Look Up Handsome, pub date September 26th. Eliana West is the author of A Homemade Hanukkah, pub date November 5th. Okay. Welcome, authors.
Hey.
Hi.
Holidays.
Let's begin with an icebreaker. Share a holiday tradition that you observe. And I'm going to go in the order in which everyone arrived. So that's Noelle.
One of my favorite holiday traditions is, now that I have 2 small kids, is on Christmas Eve, I like to give them a special package with a new pair of Christmas pajamas and, more importantly, a new Christmas book for them to read while they wait for the festivities on Christmas Day.
How old are your children?
7 and 3.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a while.
Yes, I have started with my oldest when he was just 5 months old.
That is super sweet. Oh, I love that. Okay, Eliana.
In our family, so we celebrate Hanukkah and we call it Fry Fest because basically everything, we just fry everything. But the first night of Hanukkah is always combining sort of my Mississippi roots and our Jewish heritage. And so I do fried chicken and latkes. It's like big family dinner, homemade applesauce. And then we always make sufganiyot, which are little Israeli, they're little jelly-filled donuts. But basically, like, everything is fried.
I can identify in that I'm Italian. So on Christmas Eve, the tradition is the Feast of the Seven Fishes, which some of that fish is fried. If we went to Christmas Eve Mass, we would show up and our coat, everything from our coats to the clothes and it smelled like fried food, but like fried fish, which is, you know. Okay, so Jack, what do you do? And before you say anything, does it involve those cracker things where you pull it and the cracker explodes? Because I know that's big in the UK.
Yes, we have crackers. Yeah, on Christmas Day though, never Christmas Eve. That is not allowed. It has to be on Christmas Day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, people probably can use them on Christmas Eve, but in our family, we keep them in the tree on Christmas Eve and before Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day we lay it out for our Christmas dinner, and that's when we pull it just before we have our Christmas dinner. We put our little crowns on, our paper crowns, and we sit there with our Christmas dinner.
But they live in the tree until you take them out.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And you will pull them and they make a little banging noise, and then you get the most like naff gifts. Like the gifts are they're not very good and the jokes are really bad.
Yes. Oh, that's very cool. Now, I don't mean to derail you. What traditions do you observe?
So Christmas is a big time in our family. We are always together for Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, similar to Noel, we have a present that we all give each other in the evening after we've had a little buffet. And then Christmas morning, we still wake my parents up at about like 6, 7 a.m. And we're like, Santa's been. We've kept that like tradition alive. And then it's presents in the morning.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, because of the festivities that you celebrate at Christmas time, did that inspire you to make your debut romance a holiday romance?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's such a big thing, naturally, it was just something that I wanted to write because I just love the festivities and I love that holiday season.
What is a holiday tradition that you observe, Ashley?
I observe a lot of holiday traditions. I don't feel like I really have any wild ones. I mean, we celebrate Christmas, so I decorate our tree. We do we listen to a lot of Christmas music. One thing we do, which I'm sure a lot of people do, is that we have just an obscene amount of Christmas movies that we work our way through every year, like just like 25 of them. I mean, it's insane. So it's like we could watch one every single night if we had the time.
Yeah.
So, things like Home Alone, The Santa Claus, I've probably seen those movies literally 30 times.
Okay. You know which movie I hear a lot from romance authors is The Holiday with Kate Winslet, Jack Black, Jude Law, and Cameron Diaz.
I've seen that one a lot. I watch that one almost every year.
Yeah,
it's a fave.
Let's move on to our movie pitches. Congratulations. Each of you have scored a meeting with development producer at Reader Seeks Romance Studios, Liz Donatelli Cavill. Because in this segment, I have moved on to my second husband, Henry Cavill. You will pitch your holiday romances to me as a movie. Noelle, why don't you meet me in the conference room? We got to get going because I got to do lunch soon. So Noelle Douglas, is it? Yes?
Yeah,
okay.
That's correct.
So Noelle, you've got the Christmas Crush, really cute illustrated cover. All right, tell me what it's about.
Okay, so the Christmas Crush is an enemies to lovers, small town holiday romance set between two rival bakeries. So we have Lawrence with his sweet small town bakery, and we have Elena, who is part of a big chain bakery that is coming into town and might just ruin Lawrence's small business. Will they be able to look past this and, act on their growing attraction?
Okay. Yeah, the baker thing is really popular, so I like to hear that. Why do you think this would be a good movie?
Well, I think it would be a good movie because it's a sort of classic story going back to like Shop Around the Corner, the classic old Hollywood movie, and You've Got Mail, where we've got these two people who are on opposite sides of the business spectrum, but who find a way to work together. And I think that just translates really well to screen. It's sort of fun to see them, arguing and then
Yeah. Those are great comps. Marketing is going to love that. What are the tropes that you have? And do you have any new ones? Because we would love to be able to like really play that one up on social
really
media.
play up a new trope.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so, well, it's, we've got some fan favorites like Snowed In, A Cinnamon Roll Hero, and Only One Bed. And I would say, as far as a newer trope is, although Elena is very high up in her corporate job and that's important to her, it's not really her passion. So she doesn't go into the small town really wanting to change them or convince them that the big town way is better. She just is actually kind of wishing for that sort of life for herself.
Okay. So if we produce the Christmas Crush, my mind spinning. Who would we sell it to? I'm thinking this is Hallmark vibes. Is that the heat level we're dealing with here?
Yeah, it's slightly steamier than what we usually see on Hallmark, but that's about what it's at. And yeah, I think it would do great on that network.
Who do you see attached to this project? Because the budget is not big.
Well, I think that Jonathan Bailey would make a great Lawrence. If you get Jonathan Bailey to play Lawrence, who I think would be perfect, I will be happy to make a sacrifice and play Elena opposite Jonathan Bailey.
That is bold. That is a bold move, Noelle. You want us to take a chance not only on your book to adapt it to a movie, but to break new talent. Wow, you've got big snowballs, kid. You've got.
Well, I have to shoot my shot if you get Jonathan Bailey.
I like you. I like you a lot. So I really want to work with you on this. Okay. Now, as far as filming location, we're going to blow most of that budget on getting Jonathan Bailey. Okay. Because he is popular. He's doing a lot of things. He's coming out in Wicked. He's got that. I mean, that's really so we need to really skimp on filming location. I'm thinking Ohio, but where were you thinking?
Well, so the story is set in New Hope, Pennsylvania, and if we could film there, they've got the whole main street where a lot of the action takes place already set up.
Yeah. You know what? Pennsylvania is essentially Ohio. So we're just going to do it in Ohio. Actually, we could probably just set it at my house because, it'll be cheap. you know what? I'm gonna have to give this a think.
Okay.
And I think there's a possibility we can work together on this. Just so you know, though, you are not going to be writing the screenplay. We find our people for it. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, yeah. And whatever changes we make, you're going to have to just sign it all over and be okay. Like, be like, oh,
Wow.
like you really have
Yeah.
to emotionally separate yourself, but we could talk about that later. And I probably won't give you that much to even buy it. But anyway, you know what? It's the holidays. Maybe we'll find a little extra scratch somewhere. All right. Well, thank you, Noelle, for your time. And my people will get in touch with your people.
Yeah, thanks for taking this meeting and tell Henry I say hi.
All right. Well, I'm back from lunch. All right. Eliana West.
Yes,
Is that correct? Okay.
it is.
All
Eliana
right.
West.
Remind me of the title.
Homemade Hanukkah.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what it's about?
So this is a forced proximity, grumpy sunshine story. Imagine Roy Kent, but with an injury, trapped in a snowy cabin with a hot, cute physical therapist, Noah Stern. And Noah has 8 snowy nights to see if he can redeem Gideon the Beast Wilder.
Okay. I'm listening. Keep going.
So there is a little bit of just a little sprinkle of holiday magic. And the whole idea is for Noah to help Gideon realize that it's okay to open his heart and that not everyone will leave him in the end. And there is a reversal. And then it's going to be Gideon's turn to show Noah that he really is going to stay.
Okay. I love everything you're saying. I'm a little concerned about the magic. Is this going to require special effects?
None.
Okay. You have me again. Okay.
I know budgets. We don't have budgets for, I know on the last movie, the director used all the budget on one explosion. So we're not doing that with this production. This is very easy on the budget. We can film it in Vancouver, Washington. The Christmas sets are already there and it's a snowy location. Easy peasy.
Okay, well, this is not your first rodeo, apparently, because you're very savvy about what the needs are for this production if Reader Seeks Romance Studios does decide to work with you. I'm thinking that the heat level, snowed in, usually frost proximity, there's going to be some steam. Are we talking Netflix? Is that who we're pitching? Is that who
I'm thinking it's maybe a little bit more Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. I think Hallmark would probably pass.
So, Hanukkah, I like it. It is not usually what we produce and sell, but we're changing things. We're changing things here at Reader Seeks Romance Studios.
I'm a big believer that we all need a little bit more diversity in our world and definitely in our romance. And I mean, I'm proclaiming myself the queen of interracial Jewish Hanukkah romance because I think I'm like the only one writing it. So I'm your girl.
Wow. Marketing. I'm going to get them on the phone right now. Yeah, marketing's in. Do you have a reasonable expectation as to budget? You said Vancouver, everything's set up good, solid, done. But who are we talking about with cast? Because now we actually have some money to play with. So who are you thinking?
Dreamcast, Brett Goldstein, and Wilson Cruz.
Okay, because of the Roy Kent thing they mentioned. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, everyone wants Brett, but I think we can make it happen because my husband is like, my second husband, Henry Cavill, is pretty popular. And he has those UK actor connections. And I'm sorry, the other person, you said Brett?
Wilson Cruz.
Wilson Cruz, you know what? I have to look into Wilson Cruz. Not familiar, but I will get there. Well, you know, Eliana, I think you might have a future here at Reader Seeks Romance Studios, but I don't want to talk too soon because I'm talking to a lot of people. We could only take on so many projects, but my people will definitely be in touch with your people. So thank you for your time.
Great. Thanks so much.
Okay, Jack, thank you for coming here right from the airport to my office in Columbus, Ohio. I really appreciate it. I hope it wasn't too long of a flight.
Not at all. Just a bit jet lagged. Thank you very much for having me.
So, first of all, let me just tell you, anybody from the US loves anything from the UK. So, right there, I'm already half on board. You got to convince me the rest of the way. So, let's see. You have a romance, Look Up Handsome. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, Jack Strange. Okay, Jack, why don't you go ahead and thrill me?
So, Look Up Handsome. What happens when you have the town of Bucks in a quaint Welsh setting, and a gay bookseller fighting at Christmas to save his queer bookshop from closure from the castle, who is threatening to take it from him, the one safe space he has. That's my elevator pitch for you.
Wow. You know what? You came prepared, kid. You came prepared. Why?
Long flight, a long flight, lots of
Yes.
time.
You used your time well. You're good with time management. Love it. Okay. Well, first off, before we even go any further, I have to propose that my husband, Henry Cavill, will be cast in the movie adaptation. That would be the caveat for making this movie. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm
Okay.
I'm here for that.
Okay. Now, who else would you cast?
I would like to see homegrown Welsh talent, new talent. I'd like to give an opportunity to somebody new on the scene.
Okay, so breaking some Welsh talent. So basically we could probably pay them real cheap. Is that what you're telling me?
No. We'll talk about the exchange rates later. We'll sort that out.
Okay, sounds good. Hit me with the tropes because I got to be able to, work this out with marketing.
Absolutely. So it's a small, quaint town, and they get snowed in. It is forced proximity because of that. And we have the grumpy sunshine trope. And we also have a famous person in the sense of Noah, who is a romantic novelist, and a normal person who is Quinn, the gay bookseller.
I'm getting some Notting Hill vibes, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. You could say Notting Hill, a little bit of like Love Actually in some respects as well. That sort of
Okay.
Richard Curtis vibes.
That's good because here in the US, they just adore those movies. So yeah, that's okay. Heat level. Are we talking Netflix? We talking Hallmark. Now, Hallmark is very chaste and sweet here in the US.
Yes, yeah. I think we could go with Hallmark. I'd love to see it on Netflix, and there is a tiny, tiny bit of spice in the book, but I think we can get away with Hallmark on this level.
Okay, but it's UK spice, not US spice. So it's probably not as spicy.
Well, I don't know.
Well, put it this way, if my husband, my second husband, Henry Cavill is cast in it, it's going to be very little spice because I don't let him do that.
See, this is where if he's going to be in it, actually, maybe we should have the spice. Maybe it should be in Netflix instead.
Well, we're going to have to recast because I keep a very tight leash on my man.
Fine. Okay, we can compromise. We'll compromise on that.
Okay. Filming in the UK, we don't really get tax breaks for that. So we're going to have to just bring you to small town US, and it's going to have to be in Ohio. Maybe we'll even film at my house. And this is where Henry Cavill, my second husband, does spend a lot of his time is in Ohio. Because, I mean, why wouldn't he? I think we're off to a good start, Jack. Enjoy the rest of your stay here. We're only paying for like 24 hours, like for a hotel. So you're going to have to get right back on that plane.
Okay.
All right. So you better just like wash up in a public bathroom and just get back to the airport.
Yes.
But thank you so much for your time. And sounds great. And my people will be in touch with your people.
Great. I'll wait for it. Thank you very much.
All right. Ashley, come on into the conference room. I'm ready for you.
All right, thanks.
Ashley Herring Blake, it is.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Love that there's 3 names. Make the Season Bright. Is that correct? That is your book.
That's it. Yes, that
Okay.
is the book. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about it.
There it is. Make the Season Bright is about 2 estranged exes who end up in the same house for Christmas and then have to engage in a series of holiday-themed singles events while trying to reconcile their very fraught history.
Okay. Is this going to require multiple location shoots?
Yeah, but like within a small perimeter.
Okay. Are we talking like
Like all in the same town.
Oh, okay. So we're talking small town.
Yeah. Small town in Colorado. Very snowy, very Christmassy.
Perfect. We could film it in Ohio.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, unless you want to skimp
You
on
got
the
skiing in
talent.
Ohio? There's a skiing scene.
I mean, you could ski down my driveway. It's pretty steep.
True. Perfect.
Tell me about the tropes. What tropes do we have here? And are there any new ones that we could really like play up?
Some traditional ones we have. Some classics are snowed in. So there is some snowed in going on. It's sort of childhood best friends to lovers to enemies to
Oh,
lovers again. Um, one of them left the other at the altar, so that's kind of a newish kind of take on a breakup. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So there's going to be a lot of character arcs going on in this. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as heat level, we talking Hallmark, we talking Netflix. What are we what's our goal here?
I think we're definitely thinking more Netflix / Hulu, those
Net-
kinds of a
Okay.
little more freedom
Okay.
for the
Okay.
snowed in scene to really, play out.
Who do you see attached to the project? Because the budget is getting smaller as we speak.
Right. Well, I really would like queer actors to play
Mhm.
these two
Mhm.
characters, Charlotte and Brighton. I think someone like Sydney Sweeney or someone like that might be really good for Brighton. Has kind of a more hometown feel and look to her. And then Charlotte, who's a little more prickly.
Mhm.
I see someone like maybe even Renee Rapp or someone like that. And they're both musicians, so
Gotcha. Okay. So
bring that into it.
Okay. So are there going to be musical numbers in this movie?
They do play at the end, but it's not a musical, but they play together at the end. One's a guitarist and one's a violinist.
Okay. Anything else about the movie that we should know? Like anything that maybe you absolutely have to keep in that we can't change? Because obviously you're not going to write the screenplay. I will probably do it because it's cheaper. So what would I have to keep and cannot change?
Well, there's a horseback riding scene. It's like a horseback riding rescue scene that I think is really fun. So if you have to get your hands on some horses.
Okay, well, you know what?
Yeah.
Here we are plagued with deer. So could we change it to deer?
Yeah, sure. Why not just hold on to the antlers and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, because we do have people, I can gather the deer and you could saddle them up real easy. They're very domesticated from being around people. So I've even ridden one. So I think it would work.
All right.
And let's face it, that would be a big draw to this movie, right? Oh, see deer, right? See deer being ridden around town.
Right. Yes, just something very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashley. Well, I like the cut of your jib. So I very well might be working with you. I like what I hear. So my people will definitely be in touch with your people.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Let's talk about your approaches to balancing your love stories with a holiday theme. So I always love to know if there's a ratio or a recipe. For every wintry activity, there's got to be this many kisses or this much, hand holding and whatnot. And at any point, did you say, wow, I really got to pull back the holiday and put more romance, or the reverse? This is a lot of romance, but not enough holiday. So yeah, let's talk about balancing the two. Noelle.
So for me, the holiday aspect of the story is an extension of the love story. It's a way to help the characters interact. They're looking for a special connection during the holidays. So it's not so much that I have to balance them, it's that they work together to tell this particular story. So for example, like my character, Elena, who is stuck in the city all the time in her very boring office, is really enchanted to be in a beautiful small town for Christmas time. And Lawrence has the opportunity to show her around so that she can enjoy the sights. And this is a chance for them to connect and start working past some of those enemies issues that they have at the beginning of the book.
Right. And if memory serves, is this your debut as?
It is, yes. This is my debut.
I find that to be such a bold move is to make your debut a holiday romance, because it's not just a romance. To me, there's a lot to balance, is the holiday and the romance. But Noelle, it seems like you really found you had a really solid approach to all that. So now, did you choose your holiday romance to be your debut, Noelle, because of your love of the holidays, like Jack?
Yeah, and it felt like a really solid concept to debut with. It's something that a lot of romance readers get really excited about. So as a new author, there's an opportunity to talk about it during the holiday season. There's lots of interest on Instagram and at bookstores for signings, just because people do have this connection with holiday romance.
Yes. And you get to be invited to a holiday romance
I
panel.
know,
of
and
Reader
meet
Seeks Romance.
lovely other holiday romance authors.
Okay, Eliana.
So I really like to write not holiday romances, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm always trying to unravel sort of that magic of the holiday trope and make it messy, and make it, what if it isn't magical? What if it comes with a little bit of baggage? And but for me, it's never been an issue balancing the romance with the holidays, because I think, like Noelle said, they sort of naturally go together. They mesh.
For romance readers who not only haven't read many Hanukkah romances, but also are not Jewish and are unfamiliar with the customs, is it easy to read a homemade Hanukkah and understand what's going on?
Yeah, in both of my Hanukkah romances, I bake in, and the sort of explanations are baked into the story. And so even if you don't know anything at all about Hanukkah, you'll understand what's going on, and you might learn some new things that you didn't know before.
Okay, Jack.
So naturally, Christmas just came as a natural thing to latch onto, and the idea for the book came from November 2021 is when I started writing it, and that was because I was at home watching the reruns of Hallmark movies, and so I very much embodied that Hallmark vibe, but I made it gay, and that's where the idea came from, because I love them, but I thought I want them to be a bit more diverse, and I want this to be gay, and I want it to be British as well.
Right.
So Christmas was always at the forefront, and the romance aspect is also there naturally, because that's what you get from a Hallmark film. But also with it as well is essentially it's a story about Quinn, the bookseller, fighting to save his queer space from closure, and that's the essential aspect of that story and the importance of queer spaces. So yes, there was the love aspect, which is in the book, but as we went through the drafts, that's when the editor was like, let's add even more longing looks and small touches and a bit of a spark thing, because it was there, but we really needed to pull that out through the drafting stage.
Oh, very interesting. And you have Hallmark Channel? How do you watch that?
So we do. We have a channel called Channel 5, and they always show Hallmark and Lifetime movies on there at Christmas time. And we've just started getting like we have a streaming platform called Pluto TV. I don't know if you have Pluto TV over there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and
have
they've got
access.
like Christmas 24/7 and all of that sort of stuff. And through Amazon Prime, I can get like it's not quite Hallmark Plus,
Okay.
but it's a version of Hallmark Plus. It doesn't update often, which is a bit of a shame.
Okay.
But there's enough on there to latch on to.
Oh, that's great. Okay. All right, Ashley.
I decided first that I wanted to write a Christmas book, and then the actual relationship between the two characters sort of came separate from that. I decided that I wanted to do a second chance, and then as I kind of delved deeper into what kind of second chance I was going to write, it got messier and messier and more fraught and more angsty. So basically, one of my characters left the other one at the altar 5 years before, and they haven't spoken since. Obviously, the one who was left is quite angry and quite hurt about the whole process. And so really, the emotional arc of it was pretty tangled for me to like get them to a point where it was even believable that Charlotte, who was the one who was left, would forgive Brighton, and to understand Brighton's reasonings for why she did what she did, and how she did it the way she did it, which obviously, so there's a lot of like forgiveness that we have to deal with, and all of that. And so I was like, well, this is an interesting, probably the most intense kind of dynamic between two characters that I've ever written. And then I'm like, I'm gonna pair it with some cookie decorating and hot chocolate and going to see the lights. And so that was interesting to kind of pair those together. I think it really worked because it did provide a little bit of levity to the situation. Like I remember my editor commenting once that it was like, there's a lot of heavy stuff, so let's make sure we're inserting the humor, where we can. And so the Christmas stuff, was really just everything I like to do during the holidays, like pretty much. And then I kind of like would tweak it of like, okay, how would this be like a singles event? Like what would they actually be doing and why and how? And but there was a point, I remember you asked at the beginning of this question, there was a point where I was like, oh yeah, I need to remember that I'm right. This is a Christmas book. Like I need to make sure I'm actually putting in some holiday stuff. So there were some things that I was like, oh wait, instead of doing this like other thing, I'm going to make it a Christmas situation or something that has to do with, something. Right. So yeah, it was a very interesting combination of heavy emotions and cookie decorate and bake. And no, what did I call it? Speed date cookie decorating is what I ended up doing for the cookie decorating to make it singles.
So speed date
So,
cookie.
yeah.
So while they're cookie decorating while getting to know each other.
What did I call it? Cookie decorate and speed date or something. I can't remember. It was quippier. But the whole event is called Two Turtle Doves. Like all of the events together is like so yeah, they like are decorating a cookie, very unsanitary, like, communally. They like switch seats.
Right. That sounds like it's a thing. Does it exist to your knowledge?
I have no idea. It might. I mean,
it should.
Often, I think authors think we made something up, and then it's like, no, we did not make it up. It exists. So yeah.
So now we've reached the fun segment. This title needs a story. Holiday Romance Edition. This segment is inspired by cold weather puns. So I have 5 cold weather puns. Each of you will pick a number. I'll tell you what the corresponding pun is. And then you tell me what that holiday romance is about. Ashley, please pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
The cold weather pun is long frost love.
Oh, gosh.
What is long frost love about?
Long frost love is it's not a second chance, actually. It's a misconnection romance. So 2 strangers see each other on a busy New York subway during the holidays, and they share some kind of moment. Like, she dropped a scarf and they picked it up, or whoever it might be. And then they have some funny moments together, but then it's so crowded, someone gets jostled and has to get off, and they never get their names or anything like that. But then they keep running into each other, and maybe the next time they do it is not until the next Christmas. So you might have like this kind of beginning where it's like showing all of their misconnections, and then they somehow end up in the same small town, hosting a film festival. I don't know. I'm just literally making this up as I'm going along.
Right, which is
or
fine.
maybe, and so I think maybe then they're in a situation that's a little bit fraught. Maybe they're not supposed to like each other, but they realize that this is the person who I've been like running into in all these different situations for years, but they're kind of a jerk maybe, or something like that. But then obviously they fall in love.
I dig the misconnection angle. I didn't expect that, but I like it. Yeah, sounds good. Well, thank you for Long Frost Love. If anyone does decide to turn this into a novel, just thank Liz Donatelli in the acknowledgments, and I won't sue you. Jack, pick a number, please.
4.
If looks could chill.
If looks could chill, a enemies to lovers romance about 2 models who are on a reality TV series like America's Next Top Model. It's gay, because naturally it would be, and the 2 of them are competing for the same contract, and they are rivals, and what happens? How are they going to cope when they inevitably get to the final together and they've fallen in love? And who gets the contract when they both really want it?
Wow, I dig it. So they're rivals and enemies, like rivals and enemies. Okay, so double
A
down.
bit
on
like
it.
Zoolander almost, like Zoolander aspect. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Eliana,
Yes. I'll take 5.
best in snow.
Jack and I sort of are on the same track. Best in Snow is about a neighborhood holiday home decorating contest, and there's 2 rival neighbors. I think this is going to be an interfaith, maybe gay romance, and a lot of competition, a lot of competitive spirit, and could be a lot of fun.
All right. And of course, it's snowing during.
And it's snowing. It's winter. It's the holidays. I'm picturing a scene of who can build the best snowman.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
I dig it. Noelle,
I'll take number 1.
have an ice day.
Yes, so Have an Ice Day just immediately brought to mind that the market loves hockey romance and readers love ice skaters and figure skaters. So I'm thinking we're going to have a little meet cute where an injured hockey player and an injured figure skater are at the physical therapist waiting to get their ankles iced. And they're going to start talking about their careers that they had and how they're afraid to go back after these injuries. And slowly they're going to warm up to the idea of still living their dreams and support each other on the way to recovery, so that they can probably end with a beautiful scene of them skating together.
I love them all, and maybe Liz Donatelli Cavill from Reader Seeks Romance Studios will consider turning those into movies. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Ashley, Noelle, Jack, and Eliana for playing This Title Needs a Story and for joining me here on Reader Seeks Romance. Happy holidays to all.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.